at this point, but actually continuing to attack ground with these cannon towers. Obviously, he just hasn't been paying attention much. And this one workshop will go down, and the blacksmith will go down soon after it. But it means that Nicker will now know about the town hall. He probably suspected, but he now definitely knows, and so he might need to take some sort of action there. Nicker coming into this base, although it's mined out, there's not really much point trying to go for those towers. And these dots actually just casting fairy fire. It's not really much point to that. But this one dark minion being produced, and it looks like it will go down pretty sharpish there. It only did a bit of damage to a guard tower, but you know, it's better than nothing. It's not like Cass got any experience from it either. And just the two heroes running about here, and the Paladin is coming in, but this could go quite well for Nicker if he manages to get a bolt off, but it looks like he hasn't managed to, and this Mountain King could be in a bit of trouble. Could just get staff back, but he really should use a bolt here. Actually, a very nice play here by Nicker. Gets a bolt off on the Archmage, and it will get healed again, but looks like it will actually go down. Ooh, at a very low health and gets healed again, but he really just he's getting focused down so badly. He does manage to pass the staff and get that out, and bit of a shame that he didn't manage to get any kills from that, but certainly managed to do a lot of damage. And Nicker actually now, his Dark Ranger is taking a lot of damage. He needs to be really careful. He almost gets a Paladin surround, but with Divine Shield, obviously, it would take a little while to focus it down as well. And it looks like Paladin does try and run back up to join the Mountain King, but doesn't quite manage to, and just knows he has to turn around. And they're now going to try and take a different path. And Cyclone now completed. Tier 2, the Tier 3 dots just completed just now, because I just checked a second ago, and this is going to mean that the Paladin will be focused down, I think, because Mountain King doesn't have a staff, and I'm surprised the Mountain King didn't actually get Cyclone there, but maybe there's not enough mana on the dot. No, I don't think there was. And these siege engines now can be taken out so quickly, obviously with -4 armor as well, and still just 2-0 upgraded on there. And Mountain King's gonna go back and buy the Paladin back, but he does have a Fairy Fire cast on him, and Archmage is gonna TP in as well. And immediately, because of that Cyclone, Nicker knows to come in and just get one Cyclone off on the Archmage, and he has another dot here as well, which can get one Cyclone off there. Obviously, doesn't have enough mana for another one, but his units are coming in, and I'm not sure. Yeah, he does have enough mana for another Cyclone if he manages to get some sort of block here, but mass TP being used, and it does manage to get away just in time. It looks like that dot might have actually been going for a Cyclone on the Archmage, but doesn't quite manage to get it. And really, this is a bit of a stalemate here at this base, because neither side can really put up an expansion. Maybe if Nicker was clever, he could somehow eat some trees with one tree, and then put up an expansion there, just a nicely defended one. But more siege engines being produced now as well, so clearly that's the strategy Cass is going to be trying to stick with. And Nicker might well go for an attack on this expansion now. He does know he has a bit of an advantage at this point, because Cass doesn't really have much going for him at this point, whereas meanwhile Nicker only has a minute's worth of gold left in his mine, and so he's going to need to capitalize on this. He's probably going to want to take out this expansion before he's being massively outmined, and he does the same thing every time. Basically, he steals the peasant at the beginning of his siege and starts to put up a tower, and I guess it probably wouldn't be the best idea to go for an arcane or for a cannon tower this time. Actually, I'm not sure he could. I think he's lost all his humans buildings. I think he could only really go for an arcane tower, which would probably be the best tower anyways for him. And you can see Nicker taking out these units immediately, and Cyclone being used very cleverly here, and cycloning the Paladin and then focusing down another hero so it can't be healed up. But the Archmage does have a staff and does manage to staff out the Mountain King just in time, but meanwhile I'm not sure what his escape plan is here. He does obviously have oh, it looks like his Archmage will now go down. He is being life drained on top of everything else, and it looks like he actually might get away here unless there's a Cyclone cast. This is pretty careless by Nicker. He really should have cast a Cyclone there, but nonetheless the Paladin does get a Cyclone. It looks like it will get killed, and actually bringing his Archmage back. This is a bit careless play by Nicker, or by Cass here. The Paladin does go down, and it looks like the Archmage tries to use mass DP, but there's now no fooling Nicker, and this Archmage will go down as well, I imagine, unless no, there's no other heroes coming back in. And yeah, the Archmage goes down, so this is pretty bad here for Cass, and Nicker could now go in for some sort of attack on the main, and Cass is trying to run out his peasants, but I'm not sure where he's trying to go at this point. And Nicker really needs to set up an expansion. I think he doesn't really have much gold. He only has 55 gold, but and he does. This mine has run out. Maybe he's gonna try and walk his tree of eternity. This one tree would have then been to 3 different gold mines, so that'd be pretty nice. And the Mountain King very close to level 6 actually. It's Cass's only hero left. I'm not sure how much gold he has left. Only about 450 gold, so he probably will be able to buy one hero back, and we'll have to wait for another one. And Cass actually managed to get those peasants away. I guess that tower wall sort of worked well for him, but I'm not sure what he's planning on doing with these peasants, because obviously there's not really much you can do up here apart from just mining more lumber, but I think he has too much lumber. If anything, yeah, he has 1,000 lumber and really no gold income at this point, and no real income for Nicker at this point either, because he hasn't managed to get any mining going on. But it looks like this tree of eternity might be walked all the way in, and meanwhile lots of wisps here. I'm not really sure why he even has all the wisps here. It looks like he's actually just trying to get level 6 from killing some wisps off, and Nicker really just should detonate this. Obviously he doesn't know how close Castle was to level 6, but still, considering he was dedicated enough to be staying in those towers for so long, I think it would have been worthwhile just to detonate those wisps, especially considering he has 3,000 lumber. He doesn't really need any extra wisps. And a really nice army here from Nicker, finally going for a push on the main, and obviously these dots doing a lot of damage to these towers, but they do have the 3rd masonry upgrade, and so things like castles with 4,000 hit points and 8 armor just gonna take so long to take down, even with all these 2 unupgraded bears and roar and lots of dots and stuff like that. And I'm surprised Nicker hasn't actually taken down these peasants first as well. Obviously you can take them down with his Dark Ranger and just get that extra damage output, but I guess he just decided he wanted to take out the castle first. And Nicker, and still only an 85 gold, doesn't have any income yet, and so he will need to find some way of either getting an income or just ending this game. But just towers or tanks are just coming in every which way, and this really could be a problem for Nicker, because he doesn't have any way of rebuilding. He doesn't even have any way of really preparing for any significant period of time. And a couple priests are now out as well for cast, but he should really be careful with these. The Mountain King might get able to get a bolt off on one, but certainly won't be able to do anything else with them, because the rest of the army has fallen a bit behind. And these towers now being brought in. Nicker's actually brought his Tree of Eternity back to this base. I guess he decided he didn't want to have to try and go around this tower wall here, and looks like these this might actually be in a bit of trouble. He does have one dot just in a very nice protected position here, and these 2 cannon towers as well, and I guess maybe the moves to protection they sort of eventually convinced him to go for this. But it looks like this one Tree of Eternity will go down. Nicker doesn't even have a TP, I don't think, to get it back into this, and so this Tree of Eternity does go down, and Nicker doesn't really have much gold to speak of, and so we can't really get any sort of expansion. But these 2 cannon towers will really prove their worth at this point, and you can see they just take out siege engines so quickly that the towers might even actually win out of this. Yeah, it looks like they will. That's pretty nice there for Nicker. And this one peasant actually will just go down in a second at least. It'll take a couple more hits. Dots do so little damage, but there it goes there. And I think they were asking about gold. I'm not quite sure. 75 gold. That sounds reasonable. Yeah, 10 and let's take a look. Ooh, where are the units? Yeah, 75 gold. Yeah. But Nicker has managed to sort of completely raise the base, and I think Cass has managed to bring back his heroes, and this could actually be what he needs. If he can just play some sort of hit and run game, that could be what does it for him. And Cass should probably try and kill Nicker's towers here, just for a bit of experience, just for a bit of because there's nothing else to do at this point, because he can't really venture into the wild, because he will just take a lot of damage. And one hippogriff actually out for Nicker is an interesting choice. Maybe he just wanted it for scouting purposes, but you think he probably has a whole bunch of wisps sitting about. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's lost them all now. But I guess it's not too much food. But I think what really I'm going to do really well for Nicker here is all these master dots, because he will just be able to sort of cyclone and surround heroes, and obviously there's a lot of staffing and healing and mass TPing out you can do, but that only lasts for so long, and at some point you really just have to take the fight, and it's not going to be a fight that Castle's going to want to take unless he can get up an expansion here. But actually, if he could sell a bunch of items, maybe he could. He is now killing off peons. Actually, I don't think he has enough food to bring back his Archmage. That's a bit careless there. What's he going to need? He's at 18 out of 12, so he's going to need a farm anyways, I think. Yeah, there's nothing you can really do without a farm, so he's going to need to somehow. Oh, I guess he's just selling items with his with his Mountain King. Yeah, he's just sold an item to put up this farm, and that is going to mean that he's going to have just enough gold. Meanwhile, Nicker is just sort of taking out bases while he can. Obviously, it's a bit of a stalemate at this point, but no side's really benefiting, and so Nicker might well just go in for some sort of attack. There are actually a couple of creeps left, which I guess they could creep if they want a bit of gold, but this one farm will now be completed, but we'll put him Cass is at 17 out of 0 food, because he has lost this this expansion, which obviously provided 12 food, so he's going to need to continue to build farms. He doesn't have the gold for it. He's at 17 out of 6. He'll be at 17 out of 12. He's going to need to sell more items, and he doesn't actually have any. He will need to go creeping and then sell the items as well. Meanwhile, Cass is just having his towers destroyed, and this is going to be very nice for the Mountain King. It's going to get him level 4. Dark Ranger just hit level 10, and that's just sort of crazy. I mean, if you look at his damage, like, that's just such incredible damage output, and that's before things like Black Arrow and stuff as well. And these dots just need to be a bit careful here. Obviously, it's a bit foolish to lose dots to towers when you have such sort of supremacy here. But meanwhile, Cass just creeping out what he can. Obviously, he can't actually creep out these dragons really. Apart from, I think he could, but it would take a lot of mana from his Mountain King, and I couldn't even creep out the Drake, and that I'm not sure that even got him enough gold. No, 56 gold, not quite enough, and saying MDE, which is obviously French for something rude, and I won't say what in case there are any children.